What kind of place has more sheep than people? Almost no trees, roads beneath the ocean, and storms strong enough to stop an ordinary day in its tracks. Far out in the North Atlantic, between Iceland and Scotland, there is a chain of rugged islands where the sea never feels far away. The wind shapes the land, and silence can feel heavier than noise. This is the Faroe Islands. From above, they look unreal. Black cliffs rise from violent water. Waterfalls fall straight into the sea. Green mountains stand bare under low clouds. Small villages cling to the edge of the land, as if one strong gust could carry them away. But this is not just a place for beautiful photographs. People live here. They raise children here. They fish these waters. They drive through tunnels carved under the ocean. They speak a language rooted in the Viking age. They eat food shaped by hunger, weather, and survival. They hold on to traditions that many outsiders struggle to understand, and every day they face a question most of us never have to ask. How do you build a life in a place this remote? The Faroe Islands are often described as a hidden paradise, but paradise is easy to admire from a distance. It is harder to understand when you must wake up inside it, work inside it, protect it, and survive its storms. Here, beauty comes with a price. The cliffs that amaze visitors can become deadly in fog. The sea that feeds families can turn without warning. The old customs that bind communities together can also divide the world watching from outside. So what is life really like on these rugged islands between Iceland and Scotland? To answer that, we have to go beyond the postcard. We have to follow the roads under the sea, enter the villages behind the mist, listen to the language of the people, and face the truth that life here is both breathtaking and demanding. Because in the Faroe Islands, beauty is never just scenery. It is survival. The islands belong to the sheep. Before the Faroe Islands belonged to cameras, hikers, and travel dreams. They belonged to sheep. Even the name tells the story. Føroyar means something close to the Sheep Islands. And once you arrive here, it makes sense. Sheep stand on steep hillsides as if the cliffs were flat ground. They cross empty roads, gather beside old stone walls, and appear in places where no animal seems able to stand. There are more sheep than people here. For a population of about 52,000, the islands hold around 80,000 sheep. They are not just part of the view. They are part of the island's memory. Their wool helped people stay warm. Their meat helped families survive harsh winters. Their movement shaped the grasslands. Their presence turned bare, windy slopes into working land. In many countries, sheep live inside farms. In the Faroe Islands, they seem to own the mountains. At first, they look peaceful, almost charming. But the longer you watch them, the clearer it becomes. These animals are not decorations in a beautiful landscape. They are one of the oldest signs of how life survived here. The weather is not background. It is a character. In the Faroe Islands, the weather does not wait politely outside the story. It enters every road, every harbor, every hillside, and every plan. A morning can begin with clear light over green mountains. Minutes later, fog can slide across the village and erase the road ahead. Rain can strike the windows like thrown gravel. Wind can press against a house so hard that even closing a door becomes an effort. For visitors, this drama can feel exciting. They come for wild skies, crashing waves, and photographs that look impossible. But the people who live here know the truth. The same fog that makes the islands beautiful can hide a cliff edge. The same waves that make the coast unforgettable can turn dangerous. The same wind that fills a camera frame can stop a journey completely. Life here is not about defeating nature. It is about reading it, Locals move through bad weather with a calm that comes from experience. They watch the clouds. They listen to the sea. They know when to continue, when to wait, and when to turn back. Because in the Faroe Islands, the weather is never just scenery. It is a warning, a teacher, and a daily test of respect. Tórshavn, one of the smallest capitals with a big soul. After the wind, the cliffs, and the open roads, Tórshavn feels like a pause. This is the capital of the Faroe Islands, but it does not rise like a loud city. It sits close to the sea, small and colorful, with houses pressed against the harbor and narrow streets shaped by time. Boats move in and out of the water. People walk to work. Children head to school. Coffee shops open their doors while rain still shines on the pavement. Here, the old and the new stand side by side. Grass-roofed buildings remind you of the past. Offices, cafes, cars, schools, and busy harbors show the islands moving forward. Even in the capital, life still feels personal. A greeting on the street matters. A boat returning to shore is noticed. The weather is still part of every conversation. Across the islands, traffic lights are rare, and even that small detail says something important. This is a capital, but it has not lost its closeness. Tórshavn is where the Faroe Islands meet the modern world, carefully, quietly, and without giving away their soul. Faroese language, a voice from the Viking Age. To understand the Faroe Islands, listen before you look. Listen to the words on the street. Listen to a child reading in school. Listen to a hymn rising inside a small church while rain moves across the windows. The language is Faroese. It is an insular Norse language, descended from Old Norse, the language once spoken across Scandinavia during the Viking Age. It is related to Icelandic, and although the pronunciation is different, the connection between the two languages is still strong. But Faroese is more than sound. It is identity. On islands this small, language becomes a way of holding the past close. Every street sign, every song, every book, every radio broadcast becomes a quiet act of protection. The Faroe Islands are isolated by the sea, but they are also protected by words. A small language survives here because people keep choosing it. They teach it to their children. They speak it at home. They carry it into schools, churches, harbors, and everyday life. And through that language, the islands remember who they are. Before the Vikings, the sheep dropping that changed the story. For many years, the story seemed simple. The Vikings came first. They crossed the rough North Atlantic, reached these empty islands, and began the first known life here. That was the version many people believed. Then one discovery changed the timeline. Researchers studying ancient sheep droppings found evidence suggesting that people may have lived in the Faroe Islands around 500 AD, about 350 years before the Vikings arrived. That small trace left behind a much larger question. Who came here before the Vikings? Were they farmers, sailors, monks, or forgotten travelers searching for land in the middle of the sea? No one can say with complete certainty. But the discovery makes the islands feel even more mysterious. The empty fields were not always empty. The old paths may have been walked long before Viking ships appeared on the horizon. Sometimes, history is not found in castles or crowns. Sometimes, it is found in the remains of a sheep. Life without trees, the beauty and hardship of an open land. In many places, trees soften the land. They break the wind, shade the roads, hide houses, and give villages a feeling of shelter. In the Faroe Islands, the land is open. The hills roll wide and bare. Grass bends under the force of the wind. Villages sit exposed beneath huge skies, with little between the homes and the weather moving in from the sea. Trees are rare here, almost absent from the natural landscape. The strong winds make it difficult for them to grow, so the islands are shaped instead by grass, rock, cliffs, and low vegetation. This changes everything. It changes how homes are built. It changes how people walk. It changes how farmers protect their land. It changes how the cold feels when the wind has nothing to slow it down. And yet, the same openness creates the island's strange beauty. Nothing blocks the mountains. Nothing hides the cliffs. Nothing covers the movement of clouds across the valleys. Millions of years ago, this land had a very different story. But today, the Faroe Islands stand almost bare to the sky. Here, nothing hides the wind. And that is part of what makes life here so beautiful and so hard. Food from the edge, fermented lamb, dried fish, and the taste of survival. Food in the Faroe Islands begins with a simple truth. The land does not give easily. Vegetables are limited. Cattle are scarce. The weather decides what can grow, what can be stored, and what must be preserved before winter arrives. So for generations, Faroese food came from what the islands offered most: the sea, the sheep, and the cold Atlantic air. Fish is dried in the open wind. Lamb is fermented in wooden sheds. Shellfish, cod, potatoes, turnips, rhubarb, and preserved meat became part of daily life because people had to make food last. To outsiders, some of these foods may seem unusual at first, but here, they are not strange. They are survival. Every dried fish, every piece of fermented lamb, every meal shared indoors, while rain hits the window, carries a story of people who learned how to live with limited choices. Then, modern Faroese cooking began to change. Chef Lief helped bring new attention to local ingredients, and restaurants like Cox showed the world that island survival food could become world-class cuisine. On islands where the weather decides what grows, food becomes memory. And in the Faroe Islands, every taste carries the sea, the wind, and the patience of generations. Roads under the ocean. How isolation is being rewired. For centuries, the sea decided how close one island could be to another. A village could be visible across the water and still feel far away. A short distance on the map could mean waiting for a ferry, watching the weather, and changing the whole day around the crossing. But the Faroe Islands have been changing that old rule. Roads now disappear into mountains and under the ocean. Bridges and tunnels connect islands that once felt separated by time, weather, and water. One of the most striking examples is the Undersea tunnel system linking Tórshavn with Eysturoy, known for its famous roundabout beneath the sea. It has cut a journey that once took more than an hour to about 15 minutes. Inside these tunnels, the outside world vanishes. There are no cliffs, no waves, no fog, only headlights, rock walls, and the strange feeling of driving through the dark under the Atlantic. For many locals, this means freedom, faster work trips, easier family visits, better access to schools, airports, hospitals, and markets. But every connection also changes what it touches. A quiet village becomes easier to reach. A remote road becomes part of a wider route. A place once protected by distance begins to feel closer to everyone. The tunnels solve isolation, but they also ask a new question. When a remote place becomes easier to reach, does it remain the same place? The villages, small communities holding a big identity. Beyond Tórshavn, the Faroe Islands become quieter. The roads narrow, the houses grow fewer. A village may appear beside a fjord, with only a handful of homes, a small harbor, and mountains rising behind it like a wall. Here, life feels close to the land, and even closer to the sea. A fisherman checks his boat before the weather changes. A sheep farmer walks the hills in rain and wind. Children play near the harbor as gulls circle above the water. An older resident watches from a window, knowing every road, every family, and every change that has come to the village. These places are small, but they are not empty. They carry memory. Every house has a story. Every path leads somewhere important. Every person matters because in a village, this remote, community is not a luxury. It is protection. But life here also asks difficult questions. Will the young people stay or leave for school, work, and a wider life? Will they return? Can a village keep its identity when visitors begin to arrive with cameras, maps, and expectations? In the Faroe Islands, belonging is not just where you live, it is what you choose to hold on to. So what kind of place has more sheep than people? Almost no trees, roads under the ocean, ancient traditions, dangerous cliffs, and beauty that feels almost unreal. The answer is simple: a place where life is not softened for comfort. The Faroe Islands are rugged, but not only because of their cliffs. They are rugged because life here asks people to endure the wind, respect the sea, protect their language, remember their past, and decide what kind of future they want. At dawn, Tórshavn wakes quietly beside the harbor. Sheep stand on green ridges above the waves. A car enters a tunnel beneath the Atlantic. A child speaks Faroese in a classroom. Fish dries in the cold air. Fog settles over a village. A boat returns home before the weather changes again. Every image tells the same truth. This is not just a travel destination. It is someone's home. To visit the Faroe Islands well, you must come with more than a camera. You must come with patience, respect, and humility. Because here, beauty is never just scenery. It is work, it is memory, it is risk, it is belonging. And perhaps that is why these islands stay with people long after they leave. If this journey changed the way you see the Faroe Islands, subscribe for more deep travel documentaries about the world's most powerful hidden places. Comment below, would you live on islands this remote, or only visit them once? And if you know someone who dreams of wild landscapes, share this story with them.